The Haunting of Bly Manor is one of Netflix's best new shows to come out this year. It is the follow-up to the successful Haunting of Hill House that so many viewers raved about back in 2018. But have you ever stopped and wondered, where did an idea like this come from? Was it possibly based on real-life events that happened to an unfortunate few people? Today we're going to look at The Haunting of Bly Manor and if it's based on a true story. Just 2 years after The Haunting of Hill House scared Netflix viewers, we get the follow-up, The Haunting of Bly Manor. We will tell you that Bly Manor is not as scary as Hill House was, however, that is not to say it is not scary at all. And it's those scary scenes, if you can bear to watch them, that have many viewers wondering, did these things actually happen to someone? And whether or not Bly Manor is a real place? Before we answer those questions, here's the gist of the show for those who haven't seen it. The Haunting of Bly Manor is set in a large and creepy house in the English countryside. It follows a young nanny who has arrived to care for 2 children. Danny gets hired by the family's Uncle Henry, who himself has his own demons related to the disappearance of his brother. Bly Manor is a giant burden to him, and he prefers to spend his time in his office alone drinking. From Danny's arrival, Flora and Miles exhibit different types of creepy kid behavior, but they've seen a lot, given that the previous au pair Rebecca died on the property 6 months prior. The 2 kids terrorize the extremely friendly Danny as she tries to get used to their frequently odd behavior. The other Bly workers offer an immediate welcome to Danny. Danny is initially introduced to the estate's chef Owen, groundskeeper Jamie, and the housekeeper Mrs. Gross. Soon after arriving, the governess sees figures of a man and a woman she suspects may be spirits. She learns from the grim housekeeper that her predecessor, Miss Jessel, had an affair with another servant, Peter Quint, and they both died. They also seem to have an unhealthy attachment to Flora and Miles, and the governess now suspects that the children can see the ghosts too. And as time goes on, secrets come to light about those who dwelled in the manor. That's the brief description of The Haunting of Bly Manor, as we don't want to give away any of the secrets in the show. So the burning question is, did this actually happen? And the answer to that is no. The Haunting of Bly Manor is not based on true events, but rather adapted from an 1898 novella titled The Turn of the Screw, written by Henry James. The Turn of the Screw, which is classed as both gothic fiction and a ghost story, also has a bunch of elements of tragic romance in it. The show's creator Mike Flanagan had many things to say about Bly Manor. He's quoted saying, "By the end, it's really hard to differentiate tragedy with romance. That sense of romantic longing for someone who meant so much to us but who's gone really is the heart of any ghost story." For those of you that have seen Hill House and thought it was emotionally devastating, just wait until you see what Flanagan does with this gothic romance. Flanagan also goes on to say, "If there's one thing that I hope fans take away from this season of Bly Manor, I think it's that wonderful connection between a great love story and a great ghost story. The two are really the same thing. How each of us, when we fall in love, is kind of giving birth to a new ghost, something that's going to follow us for the rest of our lives. I hope that intermingling of a ghost story and a love story is really impactful for people, and I think by the end of this season, the line between the two is pretty much obliterated entirely." Now, while The Turn of the Screw provides an overarching storyline, elements from several other James books were also brought into the production in what Flanagan describes as a literary mix. In fact, the title of each episode is also the name of a separate James story, such as The Great Good Place. If you haven't seen The Haunting of Hill House, don't worry, you don't necessarily need to watch it before Bly Manor. The two are both standalone series and can be watched with little to no background. The Haunting of Bly Manor is sure to bring in a very mixed crowd of viewers, from those looking for a good horror show and those who are also into a more deep explanation of romance. Check out The Haunting of Bly Manor, only streaming on Netflix. And there you have it. The Haunting of Bly Manor is not based on true events, but is most definitely worth watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and drop us a like. It really helps us out. And as always, thanks for watching.